I still have a lot to talk about on policies, but we don't have all day. And like I always say, I'm on paid time. So if you want to know more, you're going to have to pay for it. Let's move on to the actual process of land acquisition. One, you could just apply to the land board or the Ministry of Land to be allocated a certain kind of land, tribal land, or you could get the land in towns. That will take about 20, 25, 30 years, depending on the jurisdiction. Will you be still alive to see that? Oh, I don't know. Or you could just buy land, which is what most people my age are doing and younger. When you are still financially capable of building, rather than wait for you to be out of a job in your 60s, get allocated this land and you don't have any finance to build on it because you are retired or you're about to retire and no bank is going to give you a loan, or if you get a loan it will be on a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan and the premium will be high. But that's a different topic. Now this is financing, and eventually we will get to talk about financing. Let's go back to land acquisition and the process. Buying land really is knowing which agents to identify to get you the right land and to guide you through meeting the landowner. What we do at Lesedi Lebone, even though I'm here as Owakanza Alfred, the consultant, is that even in consultancy, I can guide you and then pass you on to Lesedi Lebone property developers such that they're able to, as estate agents, look for the right land for you and the people that you can bank on. The first step is identifying your agent. There has been a lot of scamming that happens in terms of land acquisition, and it has given agents a bad name. But in all honesty, agents are necessary. They are the necessary process because they are the glue that sticks the plot owner to the buyer, the prospective buyer. The thing about it is that you just have to know the process and follow it thoroughly, which is why I'm here. I'm here to teach you about the process, and if you go further by paying for a consultation, you get even the other information, because here we only have a short clip of what we can give you. The information becomes very small, but if you choose to come to my office and see me, it becomes more elaborate and I'm able to assist you with your specific problem, because people have different sort of problems. So what happens after you've talked to an agent is that they identify the land that you want. There's a lot of factors that influence the land you want. Location. I mean, they always say the 3 things about land is location. And then there's size and affordability, because it's one thing to want a house at the Gulf Estate, and it's another thing to be able to afford land at the Gulf Estate. So all these factors put into place, then the agent looks at land that is available on the market that would suit your needs, even if they don't. You know how people want a BMW at the cost of a donkey cart? Yes. You meet somewhere there in the middle, right? And that's the necessity of agents. After the agents, you then proceed to lawyers. You don't give the agents money, or they don't say to you, Ish, you're going to need to put a down payment now because there's somebody else who wants to buy this property and they're ready with money. Don't be put under pressure. People will tell you anything to get money out of you, right? So the next process is going to a lawyer, a solicitor, a conveyancer, to do an agreement with the property owner, the person who's selling you the property, right? You get there and all the rules are set down, and I'm not going to go into the legalities of things. The lawyers already know what to do there. Um, Not to go back to policies, but I will tell you why I'm bringing this up. Right now, with the Tribal Act, because it changes directly as land from the previous landowner to the new person who's buying, there is a little bit of a disadvantage there for property developers, because if land is directly being transferred into my names, it means that I have to now pay fully that amount that I have to pay towards the plot owner, which then takes away my money from using it to develop. It's a good thing if you're selling, but if you're buying, it's a good thing. It's a 6 and a 9. It depends on where you are. So yeah, after the lawyers, then the full transfer takes place, which is going to the deeds office to register the title deed in your names, or with Tribal Land Act, going to Land Board and having the Land Board handle the transfers. And then after that, the certificate now comes back in your names as the buyer, and that is that with the process of land ownership. One of the questions that I always get is, why is land in Botswana so expensive? Well, expensive is very relative to begin with, but let's say, for a better word, let's pick what drives the price of land. You need to understand, I think if people understood this, they would be able to invest in land much quicker. You need to understand that the biggest driving factor of land prices is scarcity. In Botswana, we don't really have scarcity of land. We have scarcity of developed land. That is, land with electricity, land with water, serviced land really. Land that has proximity to all the necessary things, hospitals, school. So it's not really that prices of land in Botswana are high, it's just that prices of land in well-serviced areas are high. There's a difference there. If you go to Good Hope, you could probably apply for land this month and probably get it in 2 months. But what is there for you to live there? So this is what drives the price of houses and drives the price of land. Mostly houses become expensive because the value of the land becomes very high. And what I've noticed about our country is that every year, new students move to University of Botswana and all the other schools which are mainly centered around Gaborone. And then after they graduate, they don't leave to go back because there's really nothing for them there. So what that means is the population of Gaborone is constantly growing. I would advise the government to put more effort towards decentralizing Botswana, Gaborone mainly. There needs to be things that are moved to other cities to build other cities, such that we have all amenities everywhere and people have choices as to where they can live and live comfortably, in as much as people live in Gaborone. Like I said earlier, there's examples of other countries. South Africa, capital city is Pretoria, but people live in Johannesburg and people live in Cape Town, and everybody's comfortable where they are because of the amenities provided. We have a lot of land in Botswana, and it's not maximized because we are all trying to saturate into one spot that can give us what? Amenities, hospitals, education, schools, developments such as roads and proper sewage systems. So we are moving here because of a better lifestyle. And if there is a lot of things outside, work, opportunities, population, and all of that, we will be able to grow the country and be able to get rid of this problem of land scarcity. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment with your different opinions or with sharing the same sentiments that I do on my social media pages. You can find me at Oaganza Alfred on LinkedIn, or Aganza Alfred on TikTok, or Aganza Alfred on Facebook. And that concludes our segment.